It was 6.5 cents to buy that put. And it was like the $12 put, and the stock fell to 10. So it delivered dollars. So whoever spent 7 cents to buy it was able to sell it probably for $2. And that's 2 times 100. So it is per contract. Imagine if somebody did 10. So that would have been a nice a nice play. But it was because somebody in the room suggested it. So what am I saying? I'm saying that trading with friends works. It first of all stops you from making obvious mistakes. Second of all, brings out some ideas, and the ideas were flowing all day. Some mine, some others. And when we collaborate, we have better conviction. So I put out numbers on the range for the day. Somebody else comes in the room who has been trained by me and puts out their numbers. I have like 5 or 6 people already do it. So it is the community has a goal, is to, first of all, not make mistakes. Second of all, capture as many opportunities as possible, whether breakouts or buy the dip opportunities. We even have a few people that actually trade meme stocks. So they're in there trading meme stocks, and then something in between. So we have people that are willing to help, and it shows. Everybody has good intentions. There's not much noise in there. So that's the deal in there. So if you need somebody to trade with.
So as an example, Nick, let's say I'm a chat member, right? And I'm telling you, hey, Nick, check out the stock SXC, Sun Coke Energy. Check out that stock. What would
SC?
No. S. So Sam, X-Men, and then Charlie.
Sun Coke. Yes. It's not so crazy. If you ask me about this stock, here's what I would say. This is a spot that has not been good in the past to get long. They're doing it this time slightly differently. Not as steep a ramp. It is a ramp. They are buying dips short term. So if somebody's long, I don't blame them. The breakout is above here, could be substantial, because then the bears lose a peg. So usually when the bears want to short, they short against something. And when the stock goes into open air, an all-time high, there's nothing. So then you're short based on what? And how long before you get out of your short? So if the bulls are able to break out of the prior fail of 2 times, they can bum rush people out of here. The best thing to do is, in this case, to buy the dip if it happens, or chase the rip. And let me tell you how you chase the rip. Let me bring out an annotation. This is kind of a mini lesson that I go over this in the live room like 10 times a day. So let's say I'm looking to trade this breakout. And what I can do is I can buy the dip into proven support. They have machines buying momentum. Somewhere here, they'll buy the dip. So on the way down, I will buy a call. How do I do it? Let's say a call is $1. I'll offer 80 cents. I did this with Tesla for the group. I'll show you the same thing. So I will offer a price on this dip. They'll fill me. I will end up owning a call somewhere here. And then now I'm not chasing. And if the breakout happens, I'm long. Now, versus I wait for the breakout, which is also fine, but don't buy it here. Buy it here, because almost every breakout comes back a little bit. So you see the breakout, you get the emotional, I want to grab it. And then you enter the order, short it. So short the price. So if the order is now 120 for that same call, offer 1. So then when it dips, you're buying it at 1, not 140, because you're going to end up emotionally chasing it and probably stopping out. So what you do is you buy the dip into the breakout, or you buy the rip, but after the dip to touch back to the neckline.
Right.
So that's what I would deal with that. What are you doing with it?
So you focus, well, that's, I was just looking at it, and I just wanted to kind of make it, to get your review on it. But basically, let's say if I were to say, Nick, maybe I just want to trade the stock, or you would be able to help some, even though you focus on options, right? And education with options, you are still able to help people that maybe trade stocks. You have people in the room
we
that
trade.
stocks.
Listen, trading, how you trade it's all the same. You're not going to be chasing on the way up or down. So you're going to have to respect the price action, whether you're chasing with stock, calls, whatever, futures. So I don't care how you trade, the comments will be the same. If you're buying the stock, I would buy it on the dip, or I would try to chase the rip on a small dip after that. Where you're buying calls, it's the same way. So how you do it, it doesn't matter, but the comments are the same. It's running into a prior fail. It's not an obvious entry point, but if you want to buy it on the dip because they're buying the dip, to take that out, fine. As far as an investment, I wouldn't touch that stock. As an investment, you missed it. The obvious entry for an investment is not here. I don't care what you trade. If you're actually trading for profit from point A to point B, yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't touch it until it comes back to 8. I don't know if it will. I missed it. Why didn't I get in here? Now I want to get in after a 67% rally, at least halfway down, at least fill this area here. So anything below 8 is attractive from an investment perspective. Up here, definitely not. From a trading perspective, you can say the bulls are buying dips in the short term. It could break out, but how long it stays broken out, I don't know. So I'm not going to invest in it at that level. I could trade it. Hopefully that makes sense.
Right. So besides the Sunday session, when let's say somebody has a question about technical analysis or options, right? Because a lot of people do trade options or are learning. Would you call this more of a school, or would you call this more of like a trade room? How would Nick Chahine describe the community?
It is a community. That's what I would describe it, where we learn every day a bunch of concepts, repetitive, and we have the opportunity to earn while we learn. So here's somebody that's in here that's never done this, okay? Has never traded with a bunch of people, that has never done options, that has been trading willy-nilly without a plan. They join, they have access to everything that's not a live room, which is what? The homework I just told you I would do for you. Let's say you have 10 stocks, you want to know what they look like, you will send them to me, I will do the homework for you and share it to you. And then we can discuss it throughout the week, how you have access to my chat room. So this is where somebody here got assigned on Friday, and I'm trying to help him understand what does that mean and how could he avoid it next time. So there's a whole bunch of conversation that I need to come back to about getting assigned, and I was trying to explain it. And so you would come in here and direct message me. 2 of these people direct messaged me today with questions, and I answered them. One was thanking me about something. I think Kid was thanking me. Do had a question, I forget what it was, but it's about trading. The comments I make in the room, oh, it's about Delta. How do I stop out? He understood it. He just wanted to make sure he got it right, and he did. So you have this, you have my write-ups, the video, the strategy video, the video on Sunday night, like 8 minutes, to tell you how to trade the week. Every day, update on that video in the morning before the market opens, update in the middle of the day with a trade setup. So the trade setups are not for somebody that trade fast. It's somebody that that wants to trade and they have a job. So, or they can't deal with it during the day, or at least they can only deal with it for like 20 minutes or half an hour. So they get my write-up in the middle of the day sometime, or at night when they come home. And like they would have seen that I caught the falling knife of a firm on the way down when it collapsed on earnings. And I said why. I said my reasoning, and I said how I'm taking it long. You got home from work, you read the note and say, you know what, I like it. The next day you would have taken the trade better than me, because I took it the first day and it fell a little bit more the next day with the market. But the trade still stands. So you decide to take it or not. If you're long SoFi, you're not going to take a firm. They're about the same company trading wise. So you take the trade, and then you come back to me. Are you still in it? How are you dealing with it? Are you still in it? How are you dealing with it? Is it too late to take it? That conversation is going on. So if you need somebody to help you trade better, and you're not very, you're too busy to actually do it yourself, you will have enough information from me, static. And if you have some time to jump into the live room, all of that stuff is extra. Let's say you work and you took the trade and you want an immediate answer to your question. You hop into the live room. You say, Nick, I only have 2 minutes. I took the trade you took. Are you still in it? What can you tell me about it? Boom. Or you hop in. Hey, I'm looking to go STO, whatever that company was. What do you think of it? Boom. You get immediate answer live. I'm here. I promise you 9 hours a day, talking on this stupid thing and sharing my
Right.
screen. I won't share my face during the week because it's like 3:50 here in the morning when I get up. But
Nick, what I would say is that really here, the main thing that I see here is that you're not this is not like a cookie cutter approach where it's
no,
like
it's
people
not
can
a
ask
trade
you.
alert service where you get a trade and that's all you need. I'm teaching you to find the best fishing pole that fits your style and time frame and risk profile, and then how to use it. It's not teaching you how to fish. Not everybody can fish with the same method. So what suits your speed? I am not super fast at trading because I'm doing this all day. I would mess up 10 times a day. So I prefer slow poke moves like the affirm trade. We can even do crypto, and I've shared a lot of winning crypto trade, believe it or not. And you don't even need a crypto account for that because we traded via Bito, which is regular stock that has no crypto exposure from the account perspective. So your bank is not going to go bankrupt unless Fidelity goes bankrupt. Okay, so my best account right now is my crypto account, but I can't promise you I will have my money when I want it. So I'm with crypto.com. If they go belly up, I'm up creek, right? But if you use Bito, BITO, that trades in your Schwab account. You don't need to go outside. Okay. So having said that,
Right.
it's the environment is to teach and to empower and to offer ideas. I share my ideas. You want to consider them a trade alert, that's fine. If you're out of ideas, or if you have ideas of your own, come to me. And a lot of trades come from other people's ideas. Somebody say, hey, have you looked at this chart recently? And if I haven't and I see it, it's like, oh, that looks like a pretty good opportunity, then I may join you in the trade. So I encourage you to come tell me your trades. You're going to get a 300-person. We have 350 people in the room every day. You come in and say, I'm looking to get long that stock. What do you guys think? If somebody knows something bad about it, if there is anything bad about it, you're going to get an answer from somebody saying, don't do it. I've done it. This is what happened before. So you have 350 friends willing to jump in and help you at any point in time. You don't have to be there, but if you want to, it's there. So the service is not that. If somebody says, I need to cancel my service because I really can't be in the room the whole time, I'd say you're not canceling the room because the room is not for you. The room is there extra. The service is not the live room. It's the chat room, the write-ups, the homework, the hand-holding, the back and forth questions that are not live. That's the service. How can I make more money passively without having to chase price? That's the service. How can I be bulletproof in my entry points? That's the service. You want to take extra? Jump into the live room. All of that is bonus. That is not the service, but that is the most exciting part about it because it's fast.
Yeah, it's 9 hours a day.
If you have time, you're going to learn so much in just 20 minutes in there. It's insane.
So we run a quick poll here, Nick,
Yeah.
and all right, so what's the most important thing to you, right, as a trader, right? So most people there on cash flow side of things. And I know that you do have some cash flow strategies for options, not just, all right, not just for people that trade full time, but
Yeah.
for people that maybe work full time
So
and they don't have to be trading the tick every day.
absolutely, because here's something. I like, if you know me, I like to sell risk. What does that mean? People like to buy calls, buy puts, buy call spreads, buy put spreads, buy shares. They want to chase price. When you buy something, there's only one scenario that makes you money. The price goes your way. If price goes your way, you make money. If you bought a put or a call, you need price to either fall into your put or rally into your call to make money. That's the one scenario that can make you money. You need a move and you need it timely. You need it like soon as possible. I like to do the opposite. So I like to do homework and figure out where all the other places where price is not likely to go and sell risk there. So I basically want to sell you or somebody else who's super bearish or super bullish something, as long as I do homework and I think that you're going to lose. So every position I have has an 85% chance of success starting point. Okay. And my ideal scenario would be to sell an iron condor. What is an iron condor? Quickly stated, you don't need to know options. I'll just give you the cliff notes on it. This is price. I can't tell you we're going to be here next week, but I can tell you we're not likely going to be here or down here. How about this? It's easier for me to say we're not going to be here than it is to say we're going to be here, right? So I'm not going to buy something here. I'm going to sell something here, collect money. The only scenario that can lose me money is if this happens. I'm going to sell something here opposing this position. The only thing that could lose me money here if this happens. So I take two positions that are opposing to each other. No money leaves my account. I collect hundreds of dollars and I wait. If price does this, both will yield profits. If this happens or this happens, only one side loses and I keep the money from both. So this usually yields about 20 to 25%. I'll tell you why this is important, because I can do this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a month basis, on 6 months basis. And let me run through a couple recent ones. Every day we try to do one, every day. And you don't need a lot of money to do it. A small account can do it. So, but there are some people that don't like to trade every day. So what do? They come to me, hey, Nick, can you give me a position like this for about a month out? Somebody did that on Friday. I gave them a position. It's going to pay them $1,000 if they did 10, actually $1,600. And they're risking quite a bit of money, but they have an 85% chance of success on both ends. They don't need a rally. They don't need a drop. They just need the market to be between a giant range. Okay. I don't remember the range off the top of my head, but it is. So, but here's the kicker. About 6 weeks ago, Luis actually from the room asked me to do the same. And I gave him one that expires this coming week. And it's almost at maximum gains. And a month before that, somebody asked me for one that expired about 5 weeks ago, and it went to maximum gains. So if you throw one of these every 3 to 4 weeks, and you say, okay, the market is here, we're not going to be way down here, we're not going to be way up here, so nothing really happens, you're making money passively. So like you said, you can still try to scalp moves, rallies, and drops, and short and long. What about some passive income that comes from nothing happening? When I sell risk, I become a market maker. I become the little casino, and I collect money. And the money sits in my account, and time ticks. Time, theta, becomes my friend. Every tick loses the other person money. I'm the bank. I'm holding the money. And if the accident doesn't happen, they run out of time, and then their insurance policy runs out. Their lottery ticket runs out. So that's what I like to do. So yeah, we have opportunities to teach people how to make passive money. And I love chasing charts. I am super good with charts. I say it proudly because it's fun as fudge to chart the hell out of these things. And we do a pretty good job. You just need to join and you'll see how well we do. Friday, was it Tesla that made us all kinds of money? Yeah. So Tesla made us all kinds of money. And I said, I'm entering here, I'm exiting here. And it was like on cue. I don't remember which load layout. While I look for it, show two maybe. Anyway, so it was an opportunity. I entered and it was 120% win, 80 to 120% win. And I talked them through it one tick at a time. I said, I would enter here. How? I said, I will open my call. I forget if it was calls or what. Anyway, it was I don't remember. Shoot, Nick, come on. What was it? I'm drawing a blank. But it played out perfectly on Tesla. And luckily, a whole bunch of people followed. And we do the same thing with the SPY and the XSP and the IWM and the QQQ and whatever ticker you want. Hey, Nick, I'm looking to scalp this ticker. What do you think? We'll jump in. We'll go down to 30-second charts. We'll go down to 15-second charts. We'll hit the SPY because it's very, very liquid. And why do I want to bother with 15-second charts? I see 4 times as much data as the other guy. Of course, I want to bother with it. I see levels that they don't. So we do pretty well. This giant action, the mess on Friday, we nailed it. So it was a tough day, right, from the scoreboard, but it was a loss for the Bears. We closed greenish, right, and the VIX was red. The NASDAQ took it the heaviest. The Dow was up a lot. The S&P recovered the green. The IWM, I think, was green. So overall, and I did have, oh, Gint, what are you doing here? Oh my God, just go home. Okay, there's a member who's okay. Anyway, he just spent 2 hours with the other in the other room and spends all day. Just go watch some TV or something. Go play outside with your friends. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Anyway, so what was I saying? I forgot. It's a good thing. Came back. Okay, turn off the computer. All right, see you later. Don't trade alone. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. And it's the same people that come back to the room, but not all at the same time. Not all, some of them are there all day. But the opportunity to learn and earn, and I don't know what the value of this for me, if I was starting out, is tremendous. Consider going to school on how to trade. Would the school open live all day with a teacher hanging out all day? How much would that cost? That would cost a lot. There was none of that when I started. Everything I do is self-taught. And I did teach myself charts, and I love it. I taught myself options, and I love it. I can read the options chain pretty well. As a group in the room, we can call the SPX close this close to actually. This week, I nailed it to the dollar, and we were within $15 almost every day, as wild as the option action was. How is that important? If you're selling iron condors and you know where we're going to close, that's a gold mine right there. Every once in a while, it goes crazy. On Thursday, it went crazy. They fell beyond what the option makers, what the options contracts were telling us. So luckily, we saw it coming early enough so that the damage was contained for somebody that was actively training on an iron condor. Was it up or down? I can't remember. Down. Anyway, we had a freaky moment there. So anyway, the opportunity to learn is, I think, most exciting for me. I'm a student. I love to learn everything. I learn new stuff for the group all the time.
Right. And we threw a quick poll there because I know that you have different strategies for different scenarios for people, right? So we have about probably 70. I guess that's a good sample. We have a few hundred people here. But basically, you can see there really quick. All these polls are anonymous, obviously, but 40% within that sample size have blown up one or more accounts. And I know that you have strategies specifically to prevent that type of situation, especially for new traders, right? In your group.
Yeah.
In your trading.
So here's what I suggest for somebody new or somebody that has hit a bad jag. Don't trade real money. Come in the group, trade a paper trade, fake money, pretend, until you get your feet back under you, as they say. If you've never done it before and you're using live money as soon as you come in, it's irresponsible. So here's a scenario that I see all too often. I haven't seen it in a while, though. That somebody comes in and they say, I took your credit spread. How do I close it? And they took 10 contracts. So they're risking thousands of dollars and they don't even know how to close the trade. That's irresponsible behavior. So what I would suggest is you get on board, be patient, learn, take as many fake trades as you want. I encourage you to trade every day with fake money until you get a system going, until you get a feel on how it is to open and close a position. So then when you have to do it with real money and under duress and under emotions, then you can do it. The method of it, the mechanics of it will be not a problem, as opposed to trying to figure it out and trade down at $1,500 is just too much. So, and sometimes when you hit a bad jag after that, like you win, and you hit a couple of losses, stop, go back to paper trading, get your feet back under you, get your emotions back in check. And that's how you do it. So let me give you a quick lesson on risk. So if I was to ask, I'm going to ask you, what do you think risk is? If you were to define risk, if you're teaching a class about risk, what would you say? Go ahead, give it a shot. And I'll give you 10 seconds. Define risk. Exposure. Okay, Ross. What else? It's an incomplete answer. Loss versus gain. Incomplete. What we can lose. All correct. Incomplete. Rabia. Nice. Okay, risk reward. So let me help you out. You all know the answer, the possibility. You all know the answer. You're just not able to put it in a way that makes it so clear as to what to do when the shit hit the fan. Okay, let me tell you something. When you decide take the risk, first rule of risk is to, you all nailed it, to know how much money is at stake. How much can I lose? Worst case scenario, should I be wrong completely? That is the decision you make. Okay, what is it? 1,000? All right, I'm good to go. Let's go. That you don't manage. You made the decision to risk $1,000. You're risking $1,000. The second part is, what are my odds of success? Okay, that is the part you manage, because the odds of success will go up and down with the price action with time, right? It's difficult to do that when you're trading stocks. How would you assign yourself an odds of success? When you buy stock, your odds of winning or losing is 50%. It can go up and can go down. You give yourself better odds in your head based on your homework. See you later, John. Yeah, I'll see you later. So the odds of success when you're dealing with stocks is intangible. You do your homework and give yourself odds. With the options, thank God for options, because that is a number you pick off of a table. If you look on your options chain, the column called delta, that's your odds of success. And the lower the delta, the less likely it is price is going to be there on calls or puts. So any given time, somebody says, on Friday, somebody was being argumentative. No, not really, but they were pushing back on something I said, which is what I like. They pushed me back in order to get the truth out. And I think they were inquisitive with it, not combative. So they pushed back. So what do you think the odds of it being at the number we were looking at? I simply went to the options chain and I said 17%. And he said, why do you say 17%? And I said, because the delta is about 0.17 or 0.18. So this is what the number that the market makers assigned it. So I'm going to take their word for it. It's not bulletproof, but it's a gauge. So I use that, the delta, to decide whether I want to stay in the trade or not. Okay, so here's another lesson. How many of you here need help deciding on whether to stay in a trade or get out of a trade? If 5 people say that's me, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on something, maybe 5 minutes. Okay, one more. Okay, we got it. So get a piece of paper and write the logic down. You're going to say, oh, that's it. Yeah, you'd be surprised how few people actually follow this chain of event, this logic. Okay, so somebody says, Nick, I'm holding calls and I'm down this much. What should I do? Should I close it? I'll say, well, I can't decide for you, but let's walk through the logic. Number one, is the reason that you took the trade still there? Okay, so the why, the reason, is that still there? No, exit. If no, exit. Why are you still in it? Number two, let's say number one is check. Yes, it's still there. Number two, have you hit your maximum pain or win? Like sometimes it's, oh, I'm up 40%. Should I close it? Have you hit your pain tolerance? Yes, exit. No, stay. Third question, what are the odds of success of that trade? If it's too low, exit and reset it differently. Let's put some numbers on this. Anybody has a scenario? No, I'll make the scenario up. That'll be too long. Somebody comes to me and they're long a Tesla call. Nick, I'm long a Tesla call for next week. I'm down $500. What should I do? Okay, I would tell him, is the reason you took the call still there? Yes, I think it's going to go because blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. Have you hit your maximum pain tolerance? I don't have one. Okay, so don't ever take another trade in your entire life. You can write that as well. Don't ever take another trade without, one, having a reason, and two, having an exit strategy. If I lose this much, I'm out. If I make that much, I'm out. Exit strategy. Have you hit it? No. Okay, then you can stay in it. Number three, What are the odds of success? Well, I don't know how to do that. Okay, which call do you have? They'll tell me the call. I'll go to the options chain, pick up the delta. If the delta is lower than 0.2, I'm out. Why? It's statistically, it's like 80% loser, statistically. It could still make money. So here's what I would do with that. If indeed the delta was too low and he or she wants to stay in the trade, then what I would do is I would save the money. Let's say he still has $500 in that trade. I'm saying he because I have a scenario for a guy on Friday. So if there's still $500 in that trade that doesn't have good odds, it is statistically slated to die. Save it, book it, and redeploy it somewhere else with better odds. What does that mean? If this was 3 contracts that were worth 500 way up, I would close them and open one contract much lower with like a 0.4 delta. So the odds of success for that same $500, I don't want to risk more than $500 then I'm messing with my first rule, which was how much money am I willing to lose? I don't want to add to it. So I would lower it and take it at one contract with better odds. $500, move it to here. One contract, $500. This way, if the rally comes, I can make money. Here, if the rally comes, maybe I don't even make money because this is too far out. The rally is not going to be big enough, but this one for sure would be big enough if I'm right. Okay, so does these type of lesson all time? Yeah, so this is what's going on in the room all day. You just saw the lesson. This is a whole how to invest, how to manage risk right here, crammed into 5 minutes. Okay, there's a good question, Rick. So Rick is asking me, all right, so I get it. The delta is important. What numbers do I look for? I'm going to give you mine. They're not the best, but they work for me. When I'm buying, if I want to buy a call to capture a rally, I want to buy a 0.35, the lowest. Because if I get a couple of bad days where the price drops, this number doesn't drop to 0.15. Anything below 0.2 is statistically slated to die, and the seller, that's the stuff I would sell. So if I'm buying calls or puts, I want a high delta. I start with a 0.35-ish. If I'm selling for iron condors or selling puts to buy shares, I would look for 0.15. Because why? Again, I'm putting the odds in my favor. Let me put it in plain, simple English. When you buy an option, you're buying something and hoping for a price move towards you. If you buy a put, you want to drop. If you buy a call, you want to rally. And if you buy a call or a put with a delta of 0.5, you would be at the money. So that's a coin flip. Pretty good odds. If you buy it for less than 50 to 0.35, so if price is here and I buy a call at 0.35, I'm buying it here. Still realistic. I need a move not that big. If I buy a 0.15 delta, I'm buying it here. So I need a big move to make money. So I sell these and buy these. So I buy 3.5 or higher. I sell 0.15-ish.
Right. So, and again, this is something that
Rarely.
Nick does regularly in the room. I'm getting a lot of questions here, Nick, about your room, about the stuff here. So let's go over this really quick, and then we'll go over some other stuff here because I know we do have some more material that we will be covering. Folks, we're not even an hour in. We're scheduled for like maybe 2 hours or something like that. So this is going to be a journey. All right. So you guys stick with us here till the end. All right. So good questions. Thanks for sending these. Are the Sunday sessions recorded? Yes, Michael, they're recorded. They're posted in the live room. Nick will basically post it there so that you guys can watch it in case you cannot attend. You'll be able to watch it there. The one on Sundays, that's where he reviews 150 to 200 stocks that are member requested stocks that you guys will review. And it's really good because he does go over technicals and fundamentals, patterns, moving averages. He does a full analysis, which kind of helps, get the whole information, like as far as how to review a chart from Nick consistently through different charts. So it's a good educational exercise as well. And you can get trade ideas from there. So good question, Michael. Let's see, next one. What is the chat room schedule? All right, Jenna, so the blue chat room itself, which is what Nick is showing you, that is open 24/7. It's open the whole day. We have people from all over the world, so it's pretty much open for everybody. You know, we got people in way different time zones, so that's always going to be there. And then the live session where Nick is sharing his screen, talking with people, answering questions, going through all of that, right, with the entire group. If you do want to be live with him, that's going to be posted in Nick's important messages. That's in the same channel you see up there. I don't know if this thing lets me. No, it doesn't let me mark the screen, but basically, yes, on the left side, you see there's an inner circle chat and then Nick's important messages. That's where Nick will post. You do get, the difference in Nick's important messages. Only Nick can post. In the inner circle chat, everybody can post. And on the top left, you see a search bar. So there you can search Nick or any other member and have, private communication, right? So good question there, Jenna. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Does Nick provide options education? Yes, he does have pretty much a library where he does have like a getting started kit, but he does on-demand educational material for people that ask for it, where he's live in the session. So you can always ask him for that sort of stuff and he'll do it for you on the fly, right? Give you a specific example or a custom trade. What are the chat room notifications? There's push notifications and there's sound notifications, right, on the chat room. So you can also be there live from your computer. Let's see, next question. Do you teach strategies from A to Z? Yes, so with Nick, you'll go from everything from calls to spreads to iron condors to butterflies. He does everything basically. So you will become a full, complete options trader. He does have these educational videos on what is a credit put spread, what is a call, what is a put, risk management, very important. We've touched on that several times. And let's see the last question here, Nick. This one it says, how much capital? All right, how much capital is required to do trades in the chat room?
Sorry, my dog is going ape and there's no one in the house and he's not in the yard. I'm just making sure nobody's going to come get me. I have. That's okay. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So the question on how much money do you need to start? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, and by the way, people are asking where to sign up. I'm posting that in the chat room, in the chat on the Zoom. Okay, so you guys can join Nick.
But I'm begging you, when you join the service, to not jump in with full money. You need to understand how the process works, and I beg you to start with fake money, because I want you to be as aggressive as possible, as frequent as possible, to learn the bad things that can happen. This way, when you jump in with real money, you jump in with one contract, and then you get the emotions also involved. And
right. So just to kind of sum it up here, folks, you get 20 email trade alerts a month, 20 email trade alerts a month. You get the live room with Nick Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. You get the Sunday session from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m., which is a 150 to 200 stock review. You get the ongoing coaching, mentorship, guidance, hand-holding from Nick Chahine, with full private message features activated, where you can get a custom trade for you, for your account size, your risk profile, your trading schedule, your goals. If you want to make $100 or 150 a day, right? All of these things are different for each and every one of you. So that's why, I was saying earlier, we don't have a cookie cutter approach. We don't have a one size fits all. This is, what are you trying to do and how we can help you get there. And that's the beauty of it. We can still do it at this point with open enrollment.
So let me jump in and just put the whole thing together. Okay. So you've heard a lot about what can happen, all that good stuff, right? This is the RUT. This is the small caps index. This is the big brother to the IWM. Earlier here today, you heard me tell you how to chase a breakout, right? You buy the dip, or after the breakout, you buy the dip to ride it, right? So use this comment right here to wrap up the whole service. So every Sunday, I give you my strategy. Part of the strategy was to offer the upside opportunity in the market, because this is a basket of 2,000 stocks that don't have gigacaps in them. So that's really the market, not the other ones, okay? And I said, this is possible, and that's the breakout. And look at where they went. So let's wrap this whole thing. Strategically, I told you what could happen with the upside with the market. You made money on that idea if you wanted to chase it. I just technically told you how to trade a breakout. How? You buy the dip, you offer 80 cents when it's asking for $1, or you offer $1 when it's asking for a 120 after the rip. Let's put that into perspective here. That was the potential breakout. You buy the dip, right? That's the one method to ride the breakout. Or when the breakout happens, you buy the dip to confirm the breakout, and then you buy here. So you're either buying calls here or here after the breakout. And look what happened. And what's going on now? Everybody's freaking the fudge out that we're falling. We're just confirming the breakout. Every time they break out, they come back and touch base to the neckline. That is natural support zone. So when everybody's going, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening is what we said is going to happen. And that's the nature of every breakout. So we just went full circle. Teaching moments, we just had it, you and me. You wrote it down. Other lessons on how to manage risk, you wrote it down, hopefully. You saw it live. You tell me if this is from A to Z or not. So it's not an official class. Okay, from 10 o'clock, we're going to learn iron condors. No, the learning is all day, every day. And if somebody said, hey, what about iron condors? I would give them a video. How do I know that? Because I made a video. And here, I can tell you, this is, look, ICZ, iron condor, that's a video. So I do deliver the video how to do an iron condor if somebody asks for it.
Right. So look, Neil is asking. So Neil says, is it possible to see? So we do, Nick does, he tries to do, because sometimes, you might want to do something different, but for the most part, Nick does a daily iron condor. It expires that day, yields about 20 to 25%. It's a very, look, here's the thing, folks, right? We want you to understand something. Nick Chahine is not trying to, we're not trying to bring gamblers onto this, right? We want people that are looking for serious income, long-term account growth, looking for consistent trades, right? Trades with high probabilities of success.
Okay, this is what Neil wants.
That sort of stuff.
This is what Neil wants. Let's do it. This is what Neil wants, okay? I'm going to show you the picture of an iron condor. This is not a trade alert, okay? So hang on with me. Can you see it? Is that visible to you? Okay. So in case, to be fair, Neil, I'm going to have to spend about 3 to 4 minutes just giving people who don't know what options are, what they're looking at. It's a whole bunch of numbers. So let me talk you through it. So clear your mind, forget iron condor gibberish. Let's talk about this. I just mentioned delta. I'll show you where that is. Let's just talk a big picture lesson on options. So slow the pace down. Okay. So this is what they call an options chain. It's available on any platform. This here particularly is a practice account I have with E-Trade. I am not recommending it, but it's good to teach. Okay. So everything on this page revolves. So first of all, options are contracts. And like any other contract, they have terms. So let's go through some of the terms that will clarify what that means. First term is what's it about? It's all about Apple. Everything on this page is about Apple. And any contract I've ever entered into has a time frame, dates, right? This one, I just picked March 17th, 33 days. So everything on this page is Apple for 33 days. Okay, quantity, how much? Every contract here is 100 shares. So if I buy or sell, put or call, whatever, everything is 100 shares. If I do one contract, 100 shares. So we got all the busy stuff. Now, what about price? Okay, so this is the Apple price. Currently, it's around 151. So price is right here. And you see how the color changes? Okay. So if you buy stock, you have a 50-50 shot at the stock rising or falling. So you, the buyer, and the opponent of you, the seller, yeah, there is an opponent selling it because he thinks or she thinks the opposite of what you think. So you are statistically on equal footing. So let's look at, I told you there's a column called delta for both sides, calls and puts. Ignore the negative number. Look, the delta is about 50.5 right there, 0.56, 0.42, somewhere between this is 0.5. The delta on this end is 0.5. So if you buy a call or if you buy a put, you're just like buying shares or shorting shares. You're at equal footing with your opponent. Somebody asked me, which one do I usually buy? What delta I buy? I said, I like 0.35. So in this case, I would buy something here. They don't have one yet, but they will add them. It's been there's a bit of time. I think they'll add more legs here. So I would buy either this one or that one. And which ones do I sell? This one, 0.15-ish. So now you're starting to see this as a table of information. All right. Same on this end. So I would sell this one, delta 0.15 or less. I would buy this one or that one. I really want one in the middle here. If I'm a buyer of puts to short Apple, I would buy this one. Now, they come in calls and puts. Everything on this side, they're calls. Everything on this side, they're puts. They're not bearish. They're not bullish. Neither is bearish or bullish. It's what you do with it that makes it bearish and that makes it bullish. Okay, let's decide. Let's explain what is a put. If I own shares of Apple and I'm worried about the next couple of weeks, I'm going on vacation, I can't pay attention to my account. The gentleman that just left, Gint, has a lot of shares of Apple and he's actively managing his risk there. So he would be thinking about buying puts. And to buy a put gives you insurance. For example, let's say I think the market could crash next week. Not that I think that, but let's say I did, and I want to protect myself. You know, flying unidentified flying cylinders over the U.S. F-22s coming out to intercept. Boy, what is that? Morgan Freeman is the president? No. So that's a reference to one of those movies. So I would buy a put in Apple at 135. I would pay $100, and that would cover my 100 shares. It's $1 times 100. It's 100 shares. So what happens? Let's say the stock market does this and Apple goes that. I'm guaranteed a buyer of my shares at 135. So whoever sold me that put collected my money and they will have my shares. So here's why this is not bearish. So there's a put that's been transacted. I love my Apple shares so much that I'm willing to spend $100 to keep them. The person that sold me the $100 insurance policy at 135 wants my shares and is hoping for Apple to fall so they can buy shares. So they're not bearish Apple. They just want them at a better price. We are both bullish Apple. One wants to buy my shares, and I'm a little worried about my shares. So that's not a bearish scenario. The put becomes a bearish scenario where I buy the put and I don't own shares. So if I spend $100 to buy this put and I don't own shares, the only way I make money is if Apple falls fast. Then that $100 turns into $300, $400. I'll make a lot. But as soon as I buy it, time is my enemy. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Right. So that's the definition of puts. The calls are a little bit different. If I buy, let's say I want to buy Apple shares, but I'm worried about it, so I want to lock my price. I can pay $385 to lock my price at 155 for 33 days. So let's say Apple goes to 175 in the next 33 days, I'm in at 155. So when I buy a call, I reserve my right, not the obligation to buy shares. Okay. So this, I reserve the right to sell my shares. I'm not obligated. I'm just insurance. Like if you buy insurance on your car and you crash, have a little fender bender, you decide not to file a claim. And so that's your decision. You're not obligated. All right, so that's the area. So how does the iron condor work? Let's say I don't think Apple is going to be below 135. And let's say I don't think Apple is going to be above 165. I can make those bets right here, right now. I'll say Apple's not going to be below here. Apple is not going to be above here. So let's make money off of it. And this is what it would look like. I would sell a put spread. That's called a credit put spread, bull put spread. You've heard it. So I sell this put, I buy a put below it. That's called a spread. I collect money. I do the opposite. This is not a trade alert. Disclosure. This is not a trade alert. I'm just demonstrating what is an iron condor. I do the opposite up here. Okay. And I collect about the same amount of money. So now this is an iron condor. This gives me $100 in income right here, right now. I pull the trigger, I collect $100, and I wait. If Apple falls below 135, I could have some drama. If Apple rises above 165, I could have some drama. Otherwise, I'm going to deliver myself about 24 to 25% reward on my risk. The equivalent would be for me to go out and buy $400 worth of something and have that something deliver a 25% win by having it move this way or the other. This delivers 25% with nothing. I literally need nothing to happen to win. And so what do I need to win? Nothing. I just need price to stay between 165 and 135. Now, if I'm more bullish than bearish, maybe I do this and make my reward even bigger and make my money at risk even smaller. If I think Apple will not be below 140, I would do this. Collect $130, not 100, and wait. So this is just variations. If somebody thinks the bottom is Apple and Apple, they can do this and collect $175 and make the reward even a lot bigger. But now look, now the opportunity to be right is so much smaller than the other one. The other one was this big. Now it's half. That's why they're rewarding me a lot more. That's the visual of an iron condor, Neil. Okay? This is not a trade alert. This is me explaining what an iron condor is. All right. Hopefully that is clarify things a little bit. Let me show you how I use this concept to trade Tesla. When this is a funny story. So you're welcome. So this is a funny story from the live room. There's a gentleman in there named Bill. He's hilarious. Everything he says is funny to me. And he asks me like 15 questions a day. What do you think of this credit spread? What do you think of this debit spread? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? It's like, how many tickers are you trading at the same time? But he doesn't take all of them, but he asks about 1 million of them. So there's another person that jumped in one day when Tesla was falling, even though I had told people it could fall to double digits months before it started, weeks before it started. Somebody came in late and said, I'm looking to sell a May $60 put in Tesla. I was floored. I said, I will sell you that put. And I went out live and I sold 2 puts, one for May, one for March. And that was the easiest money this year. Collected $350 and $220 for those 2 puts. One is worth 5 cents now and 30 cents. So these are money that I collected from people that panicked on Tesla. When Tesla fell under 110, somebody paid me $350, and listen to these statistics that will blow your mind to tell you how many idiots are out there. So somebody paid me $350 to promise them that I will buy their shares of Tesla at 60. After it had just fallen umpteen percent, they said they would love me to buy their shares at 60. So my break-even point is under 57. I said, sold to you. I'll take your shares at 60. So that's the type of trade that I dream of. A good stock falling out of control into what I thought was going to be just regular price action, having somebody freaking the fudge out and giving me their money. I love it. So that was a good win. Here's another recent win. That is shorting BX. I have nothing against BX. And it came up as a trade opportunity. Somebody asked me to be long a couple of times, so I followed it. And then I said, okay, so BX is a little bit vulnerable, so we'll buy a put and or sell a call spread. And they both played out well. One thing I forgot to bring here is inevitably somebody's going to ask me, what kind of record do you have? So here are the actual trades that have been logged for. This is for the ultimate group. Affirm just happened. Google's under fire, may still work out. Those two played out to perfection. Microsoft played out. LMT, it was an iron condor. The credit put spread played out 100%. I got out of the credit call spread for a small scratch. DPZ won, NVIDIA won, IWM won. NVIDIA, I think that was an iron condor. Disney, I believe the credit call spread lost. I don't know why it's not here. There should be another one that's credit call spread lost. Anyway, you can see the log goes back, and I have two more groups like this. And so I don't really care as much about the scoreboard as much as the opportunity to learn and do this on your own. So I could trade 2 to 3 tickers a day, but I don't, because I only like to have like 6 to 8 open
Hey, Nick,
trades.
really quick, just want to give a shout out to Mike, recently joined here on the live session. Welcome to the family, Mike.
Hey, Mike, welcome to the family. Sorry.
All right, Neil's having a great time. He says that's awesome. Mortessa, yes, 8 a.m. Eastern is between 8 and 8:30. That's when Nick will go live showing his screen, basically what you're seeing now. You guys are with Nick the whole day. You can pick his brain, ask him anything.
It is the energy is amazing. I'll tell you something. I used to drink a lot of energy drinks, and I was known for doing bangs, the energy drink called Bang. And now, like, I take a break and I say, all right, it's push-up break time. We'll go down. I do push-ups, and a few people join me. We get energy built up. I found out that I can get energy into my body by expending energy. It's like, oh, he's asking me to do something. I better get my energy level up. So you too can have fun in the live room. I promise you, there's a lot of fun, but it's serious enough to where we do good things. We learn. We have the opportunity to trade in a crazy market. This is the craziest market I've ever seen. Let me describe to you. I've been trading for a long time. It's like, this is my description, and feel free to borrow it or anyway, here's my thought. When COVID hit, everybody went home, right? And the seasoned guys and girls on Wall Street didn't come back. The grown-ups said, screw it, I'm retired. They left the keys with the teenagers. So now we have teenagers and toddlers controlling the market. So they throw a fit. Like, I can't tell you how many times a stock like Tesla, I mean, people that have been with me for a long time, I'm thinking, it's like, what? Okay, so they come to me on, say, Thursday and Friday. What happened? Why is it falling? Wait, it just rallied 90%, 108%. What happened? It's a freaking red tick is what happened. Nothing happened. Stocks go up and stocks go down. Nobody asks what happens when it rallies to high heaven, but they can't tolerate one red tick. So how many people you know are freaked out about the S&P? Okay, so if I gave you a chart that looks like this, forget what it's called. If I gave you this chart, would you think there's reason to freak the fudge out? To think that, oh, I need to find out what the hell's going on. Do you think that this chart raises cause for concern? Is there anything like imminently bad in this chart? Forget what this company is. No, they had a rally from here to there, which was insane. They gave back half of it, which is normal. Then they had another insane rally. They haven't even given up 1/3 of it. So even if they fall to the 39.50, I guarantee you CNBC will come in out raising the alarm like something new had just happened. This is where you look for longs. And then, because nobody's looking at this price, I'm concerned about the economy long term after seeing what Amazon reported for earnings.
Right.
But I think there's a technical opportunity that if we drop to here, which to me would be normal, anywhere inside here, there should be a buy and come back. And if we take this out, this is the target. Nobody's talking about that. Just like nobody was talking about this when we were down here, and we were. I was aware of the downside scenario, but that wasn't my base case. My base case was a rally, and I said we were just as likely to make new highs than crash to the 2,900 like everybody was saying. But everybody was looking down because it makes good news, like good headlines to chase. All right.
Right. So how does Michael has I'm sorry, no, it's Jerry. Jerry has a good question here. How would they be able to benefit from the chat room if they have a full-time job? Jerry, so Nick's going to answer that question, but just remember, with the service, you get 20 email trade alerts a month. So those are sent by email. You don't even need to be in the chat room, but you'll get push notifications for that. But how would they be able to best use it, Nick, in your opinion?
First of all, debate their trades and ideas. Get some fresh ideas from everybody else, and bulletproof your your actions. So if you have open risk and you want immediate feedback on what to do with a problem trade or with a trade that went well, you will have that. You will have trade ideas flowing your way from me in writing. So I'm updating them as we go. Learning skills, like I advanced my skills so much in the last 2 years, because the more people I have in there, the more likely I will have to up my game in order to learn new skills, because more people are coming in with new skills. And most recently, I've had a lot of people interested in stock replacement strategies. And the one guy reached out to me and wrote me a dissertation like this big. It was praising how this strategy has changed his game from last year. He was doing his taxes and he was trying to see how he improved, and it was tangible. So the stock replacement strategy is very important too. We can cover it now quickly if you guys want. Sorry, I need to send this. I feel like a teenage girl here. Tick, 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 tick. Okay. All right, so let's do the stock replacement strategy. Let me see if I can explain it using one particular stock. Okay, we'll do Tesla. It's a violent stock, right? So let's do Tesla. Okay, so I think Tesla should come back to 158 in order to come back and take this out. So the idea is to take the risk off the table. So if I had X dollars tied up in that stock, so, and I'm worried about the next 3 weeks, I can sell the stock, take all the money and put it in the bank. And instead of being long stock, I need to replace that position. What I can do is I can sell puts below to re-enter the stock. So when I sell a put, like I just did, I told somebody I'd buy their share at 60. In this case, I would tell them I would buy them at 150. I don't know. I'm making that number up. So I'm still long, but I won't participate if it rallies. I will, what happens? I collect my money because I sold the share. So I no longer have risk there. I sell credits here and collect money. And the risk is for me to be forced to buy it back here. Meanwhile, I would have averted losing that much, and I got paid for it. But if it rallies, I'm not long. So I'll take that cash and I buy calls or a call spread, which would get me long if it rallies. So that's a stock replacement strategy. Yeah. So you take the stock out. So that if the stock falls, I'm not at risk. If it does fall, I rebuy my stock lower, no harm done. And if it rallies, I'm not missing out.
Right. Let me ask you something here, Nick. I don't know if you're aware, there's been more issues with these famous balloons being shot down. Like, do you think, I know, yeah, so you don't trade the news. You have a specific, but at the same time, you're aware of the stuff that's happening. So just, that's one thing. And the other thing is, where do you think the AI trade will go?
I'm long AI via long shares on Palantir, which I believe reports earnings this week. So the AI trade on Microsoft carried too far for Microsoft. I think Microsoft rallied too much.
Let's maybe do like a pure play, like 3i, C3i. Remember that was beaten down to like a couple dollars. Now it's like at 20 something.
Yeah, I went long C3 a long time ago for a buyout. The guy is Siebel, Mr. Siebel. What is the ticker? AI? Yeah. So he sold Siebel Systems to his old employer, I believe, for billions. So I thought he was doing the same thing. Let me tell you one thing. There's no way on the planet I will ever chase a stock up 200%. I don't care how high it's going to go. I missed it. Bye. I'll just take it off my list. I'm long a company that actually makes money. and has a P&L that's, but look at this. I mean, this makes more, it spends more than it makes. So it could be great in the long term. I think this is a buyout offer. So just because of ChatGPT, this one is making money. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. So I know that the person that bought it here bought it emotionally. They didn't buy it on clear head.
Right. And the thing is, folks, I just want you guys to know that at some point, right? Because I'm a trader myself, and when I first started trading, I blew up like 2 accounts, and up until I kind of joined here and I was able to get with Nick, I was basically just trying to wing it, right? So Neil, I mean, I'm not going to read the whole message, but basically, folks, if your P&L is not where you want it to be, if your trades are not working out like you would think they would, then sometimes getting help with a community and a professional options trader is really the only way I think you guys should go. Otherwise, if you try following these pump and dump chat rooms, these Wall Street bet meme stocks, it just never ends well with that, right, Nick?
Well, you could make a lot of money. There are people in the room that traded, what is that, Bed Bath & Beyond really well, and then they got stuck holding a giant bag, which erased all their winnings. So GME as well. And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars before they came to the group. So I'm not one to pump and dump a stock. And if you want to trade this company, I will help you trade it. But I'm not going to trade it for the group myself, because it's a headline stock. And when it's a headline stock, you lose the edge of doing homework. Then it becomes a gamble. So for example, I can tell you that Head and Shoulders, that there's a chance of any stock that looks like this, if they lose 21.5, they could be at 16 or 15. There is a chance, but it also could be at 50 because it's a headline stock, it's a meme stock, and it's going ballistic. So I wouldn't short it. And the implied volatility is probably a lot. Let's go here and see trading AI. So the implied volatility is 145. Apple's is 25. So if you go for this week, this coming week, it's 140. So whatever you buy, calls or puts, they're inflated because of how hot the topic is. And as far as Palantir, my entry price on Palantir is 7 something. So I liked it at 14. I bought it. It went ballistic to 35 with all the meme stocks. I sold it. I was like, how much more do I want? Buy. And then I got back at 11. It didn't work. And I took only a partial position. And then I averaged down to my, what is that? That's pretty interesting.
No, that was me just highlighting. But
Oh,
basically,
okay. Oh, yeah.
You trade the macro. So to simplify this, folks, you guys trade the macro. You're trading the macro via SPX with Nick Chahine. So you're trading the overall market. That's why you will go over Fed numbers with Nick. You will go over trading earnings with Nick. And it's just I would have to give you bullet points of hundreds of things that you can do with Nick.
So for Palantir, I'll tell you how I did it. I bought shares, 20% of my stake, because nobody should be so convicted with their opinions in this environment. So I bought 20% of my stake in Palantir. And let's go to 120. Okay. And I forgot exactly my entry price. And then I ended up every week, I wanted more, but I didn't want to pile in. On the way down, I started selling puts to own more, but I was never assigned. So all of those puts sold accounted to dropping my overall entry price in the shares I owned, and then I added more. So net, I am profitable around 7 point something. So it went to here. I didn't book it. I could have, but it was a long-term investment. Technically, now this is looking way out in time. If they go above this, they can run another $1.50 to 2.
Palantir. Okay. I mean, so Palantir they do a lot of stuff, but they don't like to say what they do sometimes, right? Or what is it, like surveillance?
Well, what they do is they handle So let's say you have a company and you have multiple sources of data, and everybody has more data. All these companies went online because of COVID. So you have your POS system, your accounting system, your CFO system, your controller system, and operations as a system. I think what they do is they go in and just tie everything together. And so instead of having jambalaya of data, you have a dashboard of sorts that gives your managers the opportunity to make decisions on the fly. So it's basically making companies smarter, which is a sort of artificial intelligence. I think that's what IBM set out to do, and it failed. It hasn't done it. It's been talking about it forever. So this company started out, I think, more so government than commercial, and now they have the government shrinking and the commercial growing. So the reason I went long is because when people sold it, they sold it on wrong reasons. They sold it because the CEO makes too much money. What? Who cares? I mean, the company's growing hand over fist. And then the second problem is, oh, they're losing government contracts. Also, who cares? This is a store that sells apples and oranges. So they're selling fewer apples, but they're selling way more oranges. So the overall sales are growing. Does it matter that they sell fewer apples and more oranges? It doesn't really matter. So Palantir, in my opinion, is worth the investment. It is a speculative bet. They do spend a lot of money, but they spend money they own, they make themselves. So I usually look at this number right here, cash from operations. So that's what told me to get out of Carvana, save some people money, because their cash from operations was terrible. So here's the company that is growing. That's the blue line, and gross profit is pretty high. You can see that on an annual basis. And that orange line is the cash from operations, and it looks like it's getting better, the orange line. So there's nothing like, okay, net income is red, but that's okay. If a growth company wants to spend a lot of money, then it's okay to spend their own money. So let me rephrase. We discussed it today in the live room, in the session. If a company has a profitability problem, that's an easy solution, like a firm. If a company has a sales problem, that's a problem. You can't fix a sales problem as easily as you can fix a profitability problem. How can you fix profitability? You just tighten up the belt. You fire a few people, you cut expenses, you're done. How do you fix a sales problem easily? You can't. You can't just make customers appear.
Right. So this goes into the part, where you do review fundamentals of companies with the folks, not just technicals, options chain, setups, types of trades, but the fundamentals as well, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So let's go ahead and just let's see right now. We're gonna run a quick poll here. I don't know if you okay. So just if you have if you have an open trade, an open options trade, put it in the chat, and Nick is gonna review the contract, basically to give you a sneak peek of the connection, right? The type of connection that you will make in the live room. This is, again, not a cookie cutter approach. We're basically helping individually traders. So if you have a contract or a trade that you're doing, an open contract with options, throw it out there. Dan, we need strike price, expiration. We need to know if it's a call or if it's a put, if you bought it. So put in those details so that Nick can basically pick a few of these, review them, and go over a few things, right? So that you can maybe look at Nick's strategies with options. What do you say, Nick?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So somebody's saying NVIDIA. Let's do that. Let's jump into NVIDIA right here, right now. I can answer NVIDIA blindfolded, but let's do it anyway with our eyes open. NVIDIA. Let's go to a weekly chart, and I'll tell you where I'm coming from. So I sounded the alarm on NVIDIA once it lost 215, plus or minus $5 or $10. I'll tell you why. Because I saw a huge weekly head and shoulders, and that was my arrow downside target, and it was up here. Not many people took me seriously, and look at where it went. Well, now it just came back into that same zone. That is not an obvious starting point. Even though we rode it up, I bought several dips inside here. Look, see, upside targets, they're all met. No way are you going to get me long NVIDIA up here. I would love this. No, let me rephrase. If this happens to NVIDIA, which is a possibility, I would be a buyer of that dip. Up here, it wasn't a good idea to enter. If they bounce a little bit, they create a head and shoulder possibility. So that would be my approach. Buy the dip, but it's not even close to me being attracted to it yet. Baba. I played Baba okay. I don't want to play it because it's a meme. It's not a meme stock. It's a headline stock, and I don't know anything about the headlines in China, especially now with the US
Yeah,
and
you
whatever.
never will.
So I did short Baba last, and they said, you said you're not going to trade it. I said it was too yummy to pass up, and it played out after a little bit of stress, but it did play out. And I think Baba can be at 96 to 92 in the next couple of weeks. So,
We have
and if the way I would do it is if it rallies, I would short it into 108 to 109. How do I short stocks? When I say I short it, I never mean to go out and sell the stock short or sell naked calls. I would sell a call spread and or buy a put or a put spread. So this way I have a finite amount of money that I'm willing to risk in order to make a profit. So
right. So Carlos has a very clear, so this is perfect, Carlos. All right. So ticker symbol Shopify. So shop, $55 call expiring February 24th, Nick.
okay, so I'm gonna ask Carlos, do you have a crystal ball, friend? Don't they report earnings this week? I love the company. This is my chart on it. The upside is here. They broke out and they're coming back to validate the baseline. They're going into earnings, and I have no idea what they're going to do on earnings. I'll tell you why, because you don't either. They're gonna. Carlos probably says, but they're going to crush the earnings. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's the earnings reaction on the headline, like the next day when it opens, is not about how good the earnings were or how bad. It's about what Carlos and what Nick were expecting, and did they get what they want, and how many like Carlos, how many like Nick, and how many like her or him or her. It's about human emotions, and there's no way anybody can forecast it. I can prove it. Go back and look at Apple. You go back and tell me, when was the last bad Apple report? Just go back and see how many years you need to go, maybe a decade, before you see a bad Apple report. Okay, if that's the case, and if it's quality that decides up or down, why aren't all Apple reactions up? If there are no bad reports, why isn't every Apple reaction up? It's not even 50-50. It's less than 50 up. So it is a fact that it's not about the quality of the report. Okay, now Shopify, I like it. I would actually buy the dip in Shopify. If you force me, I would sell a put to own shares lower. I wouldn't hold calls. What call did he have?
$55 call
For
expiring February 24th.
Oh, okay. So at least he went to the 24th. Let me give you a quick lesson. When Shopify, the day Shopify is going to report, this 100% implied volatility number is going to be way higher, right? So what does that mean? If you buy calls and puts on this week, the 17th expiration, you're going to be overpaying by a lot. Let's go see by how much. So Carlos has the 24th. So the 24th is already cheaper, 20%. You see that? The implied volatility is 80. So that means if he bought a call here, he didn't pay as much as he would. Let me go out to March. Whoops. What's going on with my arm? It's tweaking. 70, 68. See how things are getting cheaper? Not in absolute value, in going rate. So if I'm buying the same pair of shoe for this week, I'm overpaying 40% if I'm only just willing to buy it for March delivery. Okay, so that's kind of the stupid way of looking at this. What does that mean? So Carlos, if you own the 55 for next week, you are statistically 23% odds in the money. Okay, by then price. So not the call I would have for myself, but you can make your calls better if you would consider, I'm not telling you to go and do it, and sell a call for next week against it. What does that mean? That's called a call calendar. Let's do a lesson on that. So 52. Okay, so this is what Carlos owns. He owns this one. Okay, and look, the delta is 0.23. So there's about 80% chance against me. So that's not good. If I were to buy a delta right now, this would be it. But let's go with Carlos. And what I'm suggesting is I don't want you to do it without considering the consequences of it. It could limit your upside potential if you're right. I'm saying that I would sell the 56 call or the 57 call for next week just before the earnings, which means I would collect $50. So if Carlos bought it for 100, he can collect $50 for selling the 57, or he can go higher than 57 and sell the 58 for a little bit less. You can't see it. It's off the screen here. Let's go here. Oh, there it is. So he collect $40. So what does that mean? It means he cut down his price lower. So this is called a diagonal because he bought the 55 and he's selling the 58. He went up. He could sell the 55 for this week as well. And look how much money he would be spending, $22. But if the stock skyrockets past 55, it makes for an interesting week. He ruins the trade. If he does it this way, he still is guaranteed some profits because he's long at 55 and he's not short until 58. So it's a good position to be in. And this would leverage that 100. So what does that mean? The minute the bell rings, that 100 is going to start coming down pretty fast, faster than this. So sometimes if the stock doesn't rally a lot, this trade makes money. Why? Because this dies a lot faster than this. Personally, I like to go 2 weeks out and sell the week for current. So if it was me, I would sell for
Right.
I would buy like March 3rd here and sell here, and I would buy lower. I would want this one. I would buy the 52, pay $200 and sell the like 56 and collect 60. So I would spend $140. I'm long for 2 weeks and short this week.
Interesting there. We have Arthur with a Tesla 215 and 310 debit call spread expiring March 24th.
March 24th. Okay, I like that. So Arthur, was it?
Yeah.
Nice. So let me tell you why Arthur did a smart thing, regardless of what his trade is, whether he's going to win or not. What were the numbers? I'm sorry. 215, 310. Wow, what the heck? That was a wild one. Okay, so I'll take it back. No, that's an awfully
and 310.
215. Are you sure?
And-
It's not.
Yeah, he said 215 and 310. Arthur, can you confirm $310 strike price or
Wow.
or 210? Did you mean 210?
Anyway, so he's Arthur is long the 215 call, which I don't mind. It has a delta that's about 0.4. That's still realistic in Tesla mode. So he paid $1,200 almost. Well, this now is the value is $1,200. And he's selling the 310. Wow. So let's go see how much he's collecting from the 310. Okay, collecting $1. That's a weird one. I mean, why not the 260? Collect $300. But he has something in mind. So that is an okay setup because it has time on the clock. I would urge him to look into doing diagonals because you're only collecting $1. If it was me, I would pay the 215. I would pay the $1,100 and I would sell this week's. If I wanted to collect 100, I would sell this week's like 230 and collect 100. And this way I can repeat it next week and the week after and the week after. But anyway, that's what I would do. That debit call spread is too wide for my taste, but it would make a lot of money if Tesla blows out from there.
Right. Let's see. We have another one here for, so Rusty, I think Rusty's part of the room. I think I talked to a Rusty. It says, please look at ODFL. So he's got a call debit spread.
I want to do something else. I think I need to help my friend Animesh. So we'll get to that one in a second because this is a problem that a lot of people have. So first thing I'm going to tell you is not to short stocks outright. So this is someone who shorts stock, not options. and you're short at 323. So you're, whoa, how do you cut your losses? It's too late to cut your losses. Now it's when do you cover your short? So there is a scenario where it could fall a little bit lower. So first, when I'm wrong, first thing I do is I get smaller. If I'm short 100 shares, I cut it down. I cut the position lower. And I should know that rallies might be sold. And if that's the case, then they could come down to 320 something. Anywhere that gets me down to where I'm like down a little bit, I'd be out. So pick a number that you're willing to walk away. If you're looking to make money on the trade, I think you have the wrong mindset. This is a trade that's screwing you right now. So if you get back to almost even, I'd be out. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me this opportunity to get out. I'm out. So you need to be realistic with your expectations. This is a stock that's beloved. If I can translate the love that is Netflix and some of the people in the live room last week, it was mind-boggling. I was like, why are you guys expecting 480? It's like they said something new. So be careful being shorted in case they're right. It could go to 450 or 480 and get out of your position. And the goal is no longer to make money in this one. The goal is to cut your losses. Keep that in mind, because you need to force yourself to cut losses, at least in part of your position. And this way, if it does rally against you, now your problem is smaller. Okay, so what was that other one you were talking about?
Let me pull it up here.
I have like 5 more minutes left in me, man. It's just I have some things to do. And
all right, so basically he bought 5. So April 2023, 370 strike call, and sold 5 April 2023, 390 strike calls. So a call debit spread on
what's the ticker?
ODFL.
What is it?
ODFL, Old Dominion Freight Line.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I would not trade ODFL in options. There's no way this is a liquid options trade. Let's go see. ODFL. And it is not. How can I tell? There are no weeklies for starters. And if you trade 10 contracts, you're on the map and the market maker will try to screw you last minute. So a debit call spread, please manage it however you can. This is not a liquid. You go to close your order, maybe it fills, maybe it doesn't. If I have a debit call spread and I haven't closed it yet, what am I waiting for? This spike was enough to say, okay. So if you force me, I think it's going to 340 or 335 first before it goes to 380. I forgot the numbers you mentioned. I'm sorry, man. Dropping to 340. Oh, okay. There you go, Buller.
Right, Nick. So since we have about like maybe 15 minutes or so there, just give us a couple of closing remarks on your end on, how great the chat room is, why the folks should join there with you since you'll be active tomorrow.
Yeah, the reason why you need to join, because it's for this guy. No, I'm just kidding. It's a lot of fun. It's very educational. It's a lot of help. And if you need hand-holding, you have it all day, every day. All day, every day. Okay, so any questions you have, whether options, stocks, futures, currencies, crypto, we can handle. I do share trade write-ups. For me, this is not a trade alert service, although you will have 1 idea a day, basically, just from me, and like 20 ideas intraday if you're an active trader. 350 people, 320 to 350 people live all day, every day. I say it again, 320 to 350 people live all day, every day. They log in, they joke around, they post trades, they post questions, they get answers, they post algo flow comments, dark pool levels. It is a smart community of super nice traders, men and women, of all ages, and we poke fun. We have little competitions going on, but there's no disrespect. So anybody can say whatever, nobody will judge. It's not a Discord woot woot and holler type of a deal. It is a legitimate place where it's friendly. There's no hostility in there. So join. I think you'll have fun. Every once in a while I cuss.
Yeah,
So
it is a workplace.
They bought me a bell. So when I cuss, I I have to ring the bell. I won't do it now. It's loud. Also, one of the people in there, Larry, got me a challenge coin that I throw in a cup every once in a while. So, okay.
Right. So Nick, I'm going to show the folks here the live room a couple of your videos. I don't know if the Sunday session's uploaded yet, but we might show them to them. We'll see a little bit. Is there a specific video that you would like for me to show them from the material that you've uploaded there? Any recent stuff, like a video besides the Sunday stuff?
Say what? Show them the video?
Yeah, besides like a video that they might, that would be good for the folks here, because I know you've put up some recent stuff there.
Yeah, I just did a review of a bunch of stocks. Just click on one of these. You can play it for them.
Okay, all right, we'll do that here. Nick, I want to thank you for being here. You are the most committed man to this live room. You spend 9 hours a day in there every single working day, Monday to Friday and Sundays. So
no problem. Read the comment I just sent to you in private. So okay, I'm here all week. So join me. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The value is there for sure.
All right, so Nick, big shout out here. Let's go.
Read the comment, please. I'm asking you to do something.
Which one? I don't see anything here.
I just posted to you. It says host and panelists. So
okay.
Okay.
All right. Rick, you're welcome. Phil, Neil, you're welcome, man. VJ.
Do it. Come on, man. You're killing me.
Where, I mean, VJ, you got it? Okay. All right, folks. So yeah, Nick Chahine, lead trader there, lead trader from the Options Inner Circle chat room. He has been killing it for all the members, of course. And I'm going to show you some of the videos that that Nick has uploaded there, right? The other thing really quick here is that I want to show you a few things, right? Really important, the education videos. All right, folks, one moment. All right, so in the education session here, folks, these are the videos that pretty much, this is like the getting started kit. So in here, folks, you can see what is a call, what is a put, what is a spread. We talk a lot about spreads, debit, credits, credit put spreads, iron condors, different types of trades. This is like the getting started official kit from Nick Chahine. So let's see, call options, credit put spreads. This is the most, right? Important type of trade that Nick loves to do. The credit put spread, it's his bread and butter. Here you will have two risk management setups, well, videos, right? When to book or set a stop loss, and when and how to book profits. I mean, this is crucial for you to go through this, right? Even if you've been trading for a couple of years, you should watch this. And then all the different types of trades that you can do, right? What type of trade is best and how to pick what type of trade, right? Michael, I'm posting the link for you there in the chat. So yeah, basically we're just reviewing some of the stuff. Then we'll watch some videos there from Mr. Nick, right? So this is the education stuff. Separately, let me just go here. Go to the dashboard. And there's also additional material, right, that Nick is posting here. Like we have here this short video. Let's take a look at it. I believe this is for the live session then. These are some scanners that you guys will have, like why is it moving? So there's a team of people basically that are scanning the markets, scanning the price action, finding the correlation, right? For example, here, Lyft shares are trading lower. It's funny, we discussed Lyft in the live room. Shares are trading lower after the company issued Q1 revenue guidance below analyst estimates. So this is one example, right? This is another example. Affirm shares trading lower after Morgan Stanley downgraded the stock. from 46 to $15. Another on a downgrade. So you could, if you do trade upgrades and downgrades, again, this is the scanner that captures everything that's moving and that we, like a specific team of like people, right? It's not AI, nothing like this, actual group of people. Shout out to Randy, right? They actually connect these things. So if a stock is up 5% and the piece of news is connected to that, then it will pop up in your scanner so that you know why you're trading the stock, right? What is the reason you're trading it, either for the day or a swing or whatever you're doing, right? This is an additional scanner. These are some other top gainers, top losers. You will have all this information. It's all part of it. These trades as well will come by email. This is the 20 trades alerts, 20 email trade alerts per month. But you can also check them out here. If you click on it, it'll take you there. Right, so you have all that stuff there. Now the chat, this is where the magic happens, okay? This is where you need to pay attention. You have two things here, right? The inner circle, well, three, but the ones you will use the most, the inner circle chat and Nick's important messages. If you want to private message Nick, you guys do have the ability to do that with this package today that we are giving you till the end of the day, Super Bowl special. You can watch Nick Chahine there, right? And you can private message Nick. I've already messaged him in the past here, just to give you guys an example. So you can have that direct conversation where it's like, hey Nick, my account size is XYZ and I would like to make $150 a day, or 100 without risking too much, like et cetera. You can pretty much detailed give an example of Nick of what you are trying to accomplish as a trader so that you can get a custom answer, right? This is not a one size fits all kind of thing. This is really where we try to work with you. This is a more hands-on approach, maybe something you're not too familiar with, something you don't see too often out there, but that's basically the whole goal and purpose of these rooms, right? Because they become mentorship rooms, they become education groups, they become community groups, they become trading groups, right? So you also will make some great, in my opinion, make some great relationships there, because there are some dedicated traders, some really dedicated traders there. We'll go over that in a bit. But Nick's important messages, this is where only Nick can post. You will get push notifications for this room, right? So if you download the app in Zynga, all you have to do is log in with your credentials, and then you will get all of these posts. You will get the notification alert. So let's just kind of review this here really quick. You're going to get this post in the morning. You get alert as soon as he will post this. He's live on the session, right? This is where you would have to go. You click this. You download the free conference call. It's like a Zoom, basically. You put in the password to join. You have all of the indexes already charted out. And if you don't want to go through the charts, that's fine. You can look at the support levels here. That S is for support. That R is for resistance. You'll get used to all this stuff as you pretty much become more familiar with the room. These are all the indexes charted out: SPY, Qs, IWM. We do have several futures traders there. Some people, again, it's an international live room. We have people from Singapore, Finland, Europe, Canada, Hawaii, from all over the planet. So there are people that trade futures because that's where the volatility is at their time. So this does help them basically as well, looking at the indexes. Below, there was this is a trade, right? This is a trade. Okay. Trade update as well. So for a firm, you would have gotten that push notification, but below is really what I want to show you this, right? The Sunday session that we talked about from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. You get a full market commentary. This is where you join for the Sunday session, right? The post is there. It says the Sunday session is at 10 a.m. Eastern. So you put in the tickers that you want Nick to review. If you have 10 tickers, you put them all in. If you have 1, if you have 15, if you have 5, you put them in the form and he will review them. And then once he's done reviewing them, he will upload the videos, right? We're talking about 150 to 200 stocks that you will analyze with Nick Chahine on a Sunday before the market starts on Monday, where you will review technical analysis, fundamentals, moving averages, indicators, price volumes, levels, momentum, investor psychology, like trading psychology, what you should do, risk management. Should you maybe not even trade it at all? So this particular session sometimes can be enough for people to kind of get ready for the week. And then if they do have questions, they do have Nick in the whole room, basically the whole day, right? So it's a matter of, are you available, right? Because Nick is there the whole day. So in the Inner Circle chat, this is where everybody can post. Nick is there talking with all the members, answering questions. People are posting their stocks. Doc here is a great member there. He helps a lot of the new folks, and you'll see that you'll have that energy. You will feel the energy because the people that are in this chat room, they're all hardworking individuals. They're all dedicated to making real income. This is a workplace. This is not a casino. This is not a place where we want you to come in thinking that's what we're doing, because we're not. This is where we're looking for consistent income, long-term account growth, right? This is, I've talked to so many traders out there, and, it's really the most amount of money that you're going to lose is really when you're starting out. And then if you stay at that level as a trader, you probably will really not improve that much until you start trading with people that are better than you or know more than you. That's ultimately what pushes people to improve and just do better overall. But if you're trading by yourself, you have no benchmark, you have no feedback, you're trading in a vacuum. And this is really why the community aspect helps, because it's not just random people community, because you could go to Wall Street Bets and you would have a community of gamblers, right? But then you would come to this community here that we have, and you have a community of smart options traders, educated options traders, right? That have strategies, that have plans, that do plan out their trading day, even their trading week. So as you start becoming more familiar with, these strategies that are being used in the chat room, your skill sets will also improve, right? There's about 20 skills that you need to become a successful trader. In this live room, you will cover each and every one of them. Gene Fritz, what time is the ticker review on Sunday? That is from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern. Within that time, I think you put it right here, right? So you would have gotten a push notification on your phone as a mobile alert that you can join the live session. Okay, it's on, so I can pop in, put the code. And then really, the reason why this helps a lot, it's because of the repetition of looking at different charts, of looking at different indicators, different levels that you're looking at, and basically connecting the dots. So you will learn a lot about technical analysis, technical indicators, moving averages, supply levels, demand levels. It becomes more than just options. Monica, no, one moment. Let me answer this to you. I'll send you a private message there. Okay, Monica. Yeah, I just replied to you there. But basically, the repetition of this is really what starts to kind of drill it in your brain. You need to drill these things down, right? It's not overnight, but you need to learn and you need to know these things. So when you do review, as an example, every Sunday about 150 or 200 stocks with Nick, and you go over everything from technicals to fundamentals, right? To technical indicators, to market micro and macro discussions, sector analysis, industry discussions of that particular symbol, right? Volume levels, price action, volatility. Once you start going through all of these different things per stock, back to back, it's basically going to start drilling into your brain, and you're going to start already, you won't have to double or triple or quadruple think something where you already know. You look at a chart and you can recognize that, right? So once you have that down, you move on to the next skill set that you're looking to develop. And that's basically how the live room can turn you into a complete trader. It will definitely make you a better trader, 100%, because of everything that, no, it doesn't, Ryan. It doesn't, Ryan. But it basically will make you a better trader overall, right? So that way, if you have different things that you're trying to improve, you can do that. But if you're starting out, if you're very new, even though there's not like a formal schedule of today we will be going over this and that, the best way to learn is just get in there, right? Get your feet wet, start looking, interacting, talking to other traders. That way you can get into the pace, right? Get into the community there. If anybody does have questions, Monica, Jatendra, everybody, if you guys have questions, make sure to send an email. We put the contact there. So so we talked about the Sunday session, right? I talked about how great it is and why you should never miss it if you're part of the members. The other thing is what we're trading. We're trading SPX. So when we're trading SPX, for the most part, remember, you'll have that daily iron condor. You'll have fast, active trades for the people that do that type of trading and have the time and inclination to do that, right? If you do want to do the quick trading. For the people that have full-time jobs, you will have trades as well given to you in this blue chat room, where you will find these trades that, they're not, that they don't expire the same day like the trades in the live session do for the active traders, right? And also remember, you can ask Nick for a custom trade. I tell this to almost everybody on the phone, like, if you see a trade that Nick is doing, and maybe you want to get a modification or an adjustment of that trade so that it becomes maybe less volatile or doesn't expire that day, you can do that, right? Again, we don't have a cookie cutter approach. This is legitimately made to help individually you as a trader, right? The average Joe. And again, if you're new, it's really it's the best time, because trust me, when you're new, when you're trading and you're new, that's when you are at the highest risk in your trading career to lose the most amount of money. So you have to be extra careful, to the point that, look, I admire all the people that are in the live rooms that are just doing, the paper trading, because I know some people just can't resist and they just want to rush to lose money. Unfortunately, we might get lucky once or twice, but that's not really, you can't build a career on luck. You just can't, right? If you do, all you guys, I assume, have some sort of thing that you do, right, to pay your bills, and you obviously can't depend on luck to do that, right? You need to be good at it. You need to have the skills for it, at least kind of know what you're doing. So it's the same thing with trading, right? You definitely want to have that skill set. It's additional income for everybody. So if I know people in the chat room, believe it or not, that are actually making more in the live room that they're doing in their regular 9-to-5 job. That could be you. There's no reason why that cannot be you, like legitimately, because you know why? Because I know people that are doing it in the live room. So right now, I pop in here to the inner circle chat. There's 72 people, 72 users online, reading, watching the videos, doing their research on what the community is going over and discussing. The people that do the homework are the people that, end up doing well, really. Like, you have to do your homework. If you don't want to do your homework, that's fine. Nick does it for you. But if you're committed and you really are looking for a community that you can just, indulge yourself in, this is it. Because you will find people here that are trading the entire day. A lot of people that are maybe doing paper trading that are the entire day talking with people, asking questions, helping others. So it's something great. I've never seen anything like it. And, I know because I launched these chat rooms with Nick, this one, and I can tell you it's been amazing, the impact that it's had on traders, that including myself. But the fact that you do have that community, that support, that hand holding, right? Giving you a trade alert and saying goodbye is not, we're not doing you a service at all. We're doing you a disservice. And the only way that we could really make things, give you something that really works long-term and short-term, is to do something like this with the live room, where you have that direct communication, where you can private message Nick, the instructor, the direct principal guy there. You can come in here and ask any questions. All you have to do is search him on the bar. If you want to talk to another member that you speak with, let's say, we want to email Doc, so Doc sent me a message here thinking about the Qs going down next week. Again, you can always communicate, participate in and have different study groups, really. This is really where the magic also happens. There's a lot of magic here, right? You can actually create these different study groups with different people and just take the chat room to the next level, right? And I know several of these people personally. I've met a lot of the members in person, right? And I can tell you, I can vouch for every single one of them. Just for starters, right? Everybody in this chat room is an active paying user, a real human being, not a bot, not a fake account like you see on Reddit or StockTwits or Wall Street Bets or any of these public forums. You might as well go to a park and talk about this stuff. It's just definitely not It's definitely not helping you at all. You know who it helps? The hedge funds, because they look where to short, where retail traders are, accumulated, if you will. Oh, this is trending on StockTwits. Hedge funds that have a huge, they're like, okay, yeah, that's where we're going to be shorting today. So again, folks, you really should stop following the crowd. You should start trading with a real community of smart traders. Cinnamon Girl, all right, signed up a few weeks ago with the lifetime option, I remember. So we have Doc in the house. He is all over it. He's all over it. All right. So I think we covered a lot of the chat room. I'm going to show a few of the videos here and go over some of the questions. Do you trade SPY, trade on Sunday? I don't know what you mean there. You mean SPA? Do you SPA on Sundays or SPY trade on Sundays? I've been waiting to get set up that way. Craig, you need to join this room if you're not already part of it so that you know how to communicate with Nick and you can start, your trading journey with him. It's basically a game changer, right? Stop following the crowd, stop trading alone, take this seriously like a career. This is not a casino. This is really not a hobby even. This is actual income that you can generate to pay some or all or even somebody else's bills. So remember, right, there's a lot of education also. And if you don't have education, you're going to fall into emotional trading, like it or not. It's a human reflex. And education is a lifelong process, right? Remember, the market changes every single day. Now we're dealing with balloons. We're dealing with a whole bunch of different stuff that we were not last year, as if it wasn't enough, right? So the markets are always going to have volatility one way or another. And it's up to you really how you can benefit from that or not benefit from it, right? This way you can basically take a chance on yourself. That's what this is. If you get the subscription, you're taking a chance on yourself. If you believe in yourself and you're taking a chance on Nick, and if he's there the entire day for you, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sundays, I mean, you have everything at your disposal to succeed if you join this chat room. If you join the chat room, you will have everything you need to succeed, right? When you're cooking the recipe, you have different ingredients. Well, this is what it is, right? You have every single ingredient in excess to succeed as a trader in this room, okay? I've seen it. It's not and there's no reason it cannot be you at all, right? So even if you have not been doing well in your trading, this is something that, I mean, if you're already doing bad on your own, and things can't change, at one point you got to figure it, you have to just come to terms, right? That maybe a community will help you. Maybe a community will benefit you. You know how many, maybe you're not the first person that thinks that, and then boom, turns out, yes, it's a huge difference trading alone, trying to trade the headlines on CNBC, than trading with a group, having a plan, a clear strategy, right? Not a random strategy. I woke up today and I feel like, making up a strategy. We're talking about an ongoing day-to-day, back-to-back strategy that we are following. It's continuous, it's flowing, it's ongoing in the chat room. It's not like we just started yesterday. So we already have a good understanding of what's been happening and what we expect to happen for the month, for the week, that sort of stuff. So let's try to find these videos from Nick. Yes, Michael, I would not wing it. It's not 2020. We don't have unlimited QE. We have a lot of situations here, so that way, folks, you need to set up proper expectations. And if you learn the technicals with Nick, if you're trading options and you cannot read a chart, you need to stop right now. 100% full stop, right? The charts are trying to tell you something. They have their own language. The technical analysis sessions that you receive with Nick are amazing. On top of all the option stuff you get, this is like a full year trading course, education course, technical analysis course. Instead of skipping steps, you basically do everything as you should with the community, right? So let's watch the video here really quick, folks. Ryan, are there two chats? Nick's, so none of it is like free online, Ryan. The two chats is this blue one and then the live session where Nick is going live. So that's where he goes live. Well, he's in the chat room, the whole day also, but he's sharing his screen, talking verbally, answering questions, all that stuff as well in here where it says live session. And you download the free conference call, which is basically like a Zoom. And then you log in and you're in with him the whole day, the whole 9 hours. Okay, so that's for you, Ryan. Neil, Rodrigo, thanks for all you do. I'll be signing up soon. No worries, Neil. I look forward to seeing you there. It's a great community, and I can't wait for you to meet the rest of the fellas there. They're all great traders. They have a great spirit, great energy. I know you'll fit in right there perfectly. It's Ryan says it's hard not to fall back to reflexes. Yes, and that is truth is, if you like as an example, you know, if you are looking at a heart, somebody's open heart, you don't know what to do or what is going on. But if you are a cardiologist, a trained cardiologist, right, with like a real license, you know exactly what to do and how to fix it and how it should look like. So for the trained eye, it could be a little bit easier to spot these things. For the untrained eye, it's going to be a lot harder, and that's why you'll end up falling into the emotions, right, on how you feel and not really having a strategy and a plan. But how are you going to make a strategy and a plan if you don't have the experience? So it's a chicken and the egg problem, right? And that's really where the chat room comes into play. That's really where having an instructor and a mentor is so, like, it's priceless, really, because you will have follow-up questions. You will have questions that, oh, okay, so this means that connects to this and such. So it's all a learning process, just like anything else. If you are good at anything, if you're watching this and you're good at what you do, regardless of what it is, you know it was not overnight, right? Some of these things take time. And you would have done a lot better if you had a mentor, right? So that's just something to think about. Chet, what's going on, Chet? I put the link there in the chat for you. Let me just finish going through the comments here. Ryan says, Nick is a charger and a conservative genius. Free on a call. That's the name. Yep. Yeah, Ryan, the link to join is in the chat. So let's go ahead and pull up this, this video. All right, let's see if I suppose, so Real Food Dude says, I suppose the Sunday review is recorded. It can be watched later in the day. Yes, Real Food Dude. These sessions on Sundays are recorded. So those are the ones that we will watch now. So we're going to watch the session that Nick just posted for the members, and that is recorded and posted on Sundays, and I'll show you where. Yard Dog says that he needs trading friends for sure. You should meet some of the folks in the chat room. They're amazing. They're cool. I know you'll get along with them. They're really cool people there. Okay, folks. All right, so let's get back here. Let's look for the video with Nick. All right. So Doc is private messaging here. All right. So you can see you can private message different members there. It's open right now, like with different people. So the options inner circle chat. All right, there's people in here right now. Doc always helping out folks there as well. Let's go to Nick's important messages. Let's watch this video, one of two. So this is the first video of 3 videos, right? In the chat, I know we've been going over a lot of stuff and questions about the chat room. Before I go on to this video for the Sunday session, are there any other questions about the chat room or the live room with Nick? There's 20 email trade alerts a month. You're in the live room with him, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. The blue chat room you're seeing is open 24/7. You have the Sunday session from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern. Ongoing coaching, ongoing mentorship, trading feedback, hand-holding to the max. Okay, if there's no questions, put a 1 in the chat so that we can go on and I can show you guys the video so that I'm not interrupting the video with different, questions and things like that. So let me know in the chat. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. All right, folks. So, all right, looks like we're good to go. Let's go ahead and open this video here. This is going to be for Nick Chahine. Again, this is the Sunday session that Nick does. It's only for the paying members. I'm going to show it to you. Nick told me, Nick said, listen, don't show them the stuff that's for the members, but I'm just going to show you a little bit so that you can have a sneak peek of what's really going on, right, in the live room, what's really being discussed, so that you can see how you can fit this into the schedule. All right, let's run this up now. One moment. me change the quality. All right, that should be good enough. Audio.
All right, so this is Sunday, recording the session, and we were just recapping the fact that last.
All right, folks, can you hear that? Can you guys hear the audio? Put a 2 in the chat if you can hear the audio, or just let me know the audio is good. All right, so we're good. We're good for that.
Week, the Bears lost an opportunity to put away the Bulls. They had them against the ropes on Friday, and they let them off. The market closed mixed up. I think the QQQ may have been red. Overall, the week was not bad. In fact, the Dow was green. The other candles were not bad. And this is just the overall S&P look. If I gave you this chart and I didn't say what it was, you wouldn't ask what's going on. It's just price action. So if I looked at a weekly, that candle is not necessarily bearish. And we may be rounding the bottom of this dip. So this is the overall perspective. We can have just as much opportunity to go up than down. Now I have a few concerns that have surfaced for me personally in the last couple of weeks, which mainly was the report from some growth companies that are not delivering growth. The king of growth is Amazon. 2 quarters back to back, single digits, I think. At least the last one was single digits for sure. I thought the one before it as well. And 2 shrinking quarterly sales reports from Facebook, the company with almost 4 billion people. No sheet, Echo. I'm sorry, I did not have time. It takes 4 hours and I just ran out. So the idea is that I'm a little bit cautious. I think Powell may have actually damaged the economy beyond what the reports are showing. Not beyond repair, just beyond what the reports are showing. That's my overall perspective. So what is that? I can go long. I think upside is still the better way to go without new news. Balloons or not balloons. We'll see how we open Sunday night, because we had some headlines about flying objects that are cylindrical and whatever. I mean, how scary stuff is that? And we don't know who they are, how many. What? What is this, a movie? So that should rattle people on Sunday night. If they don't, then maybe there's some short-term upside just from the gumption that the markets have. So I won't fight the trend. I'm just aware of the potential downside. So this is Apple, the king of stocks. It's
Hey, really quick, folks. Sorry, I just wanted to give a big shout out, Mr. Kevin. Mr. Kevin, if you're out there, just wanted to give you a big welcome here to the family. Good to have you here with us. Let's go. All right, folks, let's get back here to the video. But for all you guys that are asking, the link to join is in the chat. We're going to carry on, watch a little bit more of this video. Kevin, just make sure, check your email so that you can set up the account and you can be there early tomorrow, because Nick has some other trade setups planned for the week. All right, so let's get back here to the video. We'll watch a few more of this.
You can visually see it. These are weekly candles, big picture. So not too long ago in October, it went to here and it failed. This was a place from which it failed. I know, Gint, this one is dear to your heart. So this here is not an obvious entry point, whereas a small dip, even into the 40s, low 40s, would be okay. It wouldn't change anything. We fell, we rallied, we fell, we rallied, and we're trying to bottom. Now, if we lose this one, Apple will come down to here like Tesla and all of the rest. You remember I said not too long ago, it needs to be above 133, 135, and it did it in big way. So now if it comes back and for some whacked out reason loses this, which is not like we have many alarms before that, but the big picture, if it loses this, we will come down to here and the SPX will be in the low 3s or below 3. That's not my forecast, but that is a forecast that exists. So if we go to shorter time frame on Apple, you can see that they are buying dips. So I will be in that mode until that changes. We have a line at 157 and a zone around 142, both of which should be difficult. So if we fall into 142, the right thing to do is to get long for a swing trade and see if we can come up to 152 and meander back up to here. So this is your battle zone, 57 to 42-ish, with a resting zone around 46. There should be some buyers here. There are buyers here. 46 is more. 42 should be much stronger. And if it ever comes down below 140 again, I will go long in size with stops because of that disaster scenario. So that's Apple. Nothing going on with it. AbbVie, this is not an obvious entry point if we go at the daily. So it hit both of targets. This was target 2 on this harmonic red thing. Target 1 was here. So they're ping-ponging in between 2 Fibonacci levels that the machines are seeing. I'm not making this stuff up. They saw this pattern, they went for target 1 and 2, bounced off of target 2 perfectly, and now they're struggling with target 1. So it is a significant lever to machines, and machines control action. So I think 154 is a lot of resistance. So if I wanted to go long AbbVie, I would go long on a dip into 146 and see if this is support. If I haven't gotten out of AbbVie, it's too late to panic. Airbnb is, look, that same pattern, and they're going towards target 1. Target 2 is here. I don't think that comes. But hey, earnings are coming. So I will not trade AbbVie into earnings. I mean, sorry, Airbnb into earnings. The company's fine. The P&L is fine. They grow fast and all of that. But you can't trust the earnings reactions. They are short-term coin flips. A hard lesson to get through to people. Trust me when I tell you it's mathematically proven that the reaction short-term, like the next open, is not about quality of report, bad or good. It doesn't matter as much as what are people expecting. So let's look back. This was a dip. This was a rip. This was a dip. And this was a pop and a dip. So you can see it's 50-50 at best. And it's unpredictable. I'm pretty sure the company perspective did not go that bad, that good, that bad. It's just perspective. Like, what are people expecting? I don't know what this is. Arbor Realty, not an obvious entry point, although it's falling into support at 14. I think it's better support lower. So see what it does at 1480 versus 1430. I think if it loses 1430, it comes to 13.6. That would be the entry opportunity down here for me. ADS. Oh, this Adidas. Is that liquid enough to trade? Look at the size of the volume here. Holy moly. Okay, so if you assume that there's an ascending channel here, you can buy dips inside that channel. So there should be buyers into 120. 160 will be hard to take out, but if you do take it out, you go to 190. So buying calls, I don't know if it has calls. Buying shares, I would take partial position at best. Not an obvious entry point. Closer to 26 maybe. Anything below 24 definitely. Big gap. Not necessarily I want the gap, but this harmonic targets is 1 and 2. So 22 would be for me if I were to trade this stock and if I liked it. Versus 38. You get above 38, then you can take off. But right now you have to look down to find support. Affirm. I think oh, that's what happened to Affirm. Okay, so I sold naked puts in Affirm. What, you crazy fool? Yeah, I said I'll buy it at 1050 in the next, I forget, 30 days? I wrote it down. So in the next 30 days, I may be the proud owner of the stock at 1050 and I'll break even just under 10. If you sell what I sold now, you will probably collect a little bit more than me. What does that mean? It means I don't anticipate a disaster on an ongoing basis from this company. It rallied, I don't know, 150, 160%. It gave up more than 50, which is a lot. I think this drop sliced through to 50% because of emotions. They grew sales. People were upset with earnings, which is profitability, but this is a growth company. So the company said, okay, we'll focus on earnings. So it said what Wall Street wanted to hear. I think it's a mistake if they actually do, but hey, they know their business, not me. I'm just trading the price action. I think I wouldn't mind owning shares for the long term. AIG, not an obvious entry point into 62, 63. That is a zone of rejection. So I would buy it into 58.5 and stop out below 58.2 because it could go to 53.5. Not an entry point, better entry point, stop out below here because it could go to here. Simple. Okay, all right. So 250 should be a support zone. So they have an opportunity to hold 260. They're going to battle for a lot of sellers at 280. This is the highest point of control. That is the highest volume. This is the spot where both bulls and bears love it the most in this period of time. 280. So going into it is going to be difficult. You take out this, you can get to here, but it's not so obvious. So if this is liquid, I would be more enticed to sell puts or put spreads rather than buy calls. Buying shares is okay, but not all in. AMD, I would like it lower, like 76 or 74. Then at least I'm buying into this cluster. What is this? Why do they always do that with AMD? Yeah, I won't touch it here. Too high. And NVIDIA got up to its nasty neckline, the weekly neckline. This one is not even within $20 of it right now. So it's relatively weaker than NVIDIA. I wouldn't touch it for a short-term trade. Amazon, I would touch it because it has rallied a lot, shed a lot, but somewhere in the middle lies the truth, and there are a whole bunch of buyers here. So if I have a credit put spread, and I do, I think it's somewhere around 89, I'm not defending it yet. I feel like I can deal with the pressure if it comes later. So AOSL, on a daily basis, it looks like it's in a base zone. So from that perspective, yeah, I can trade it on the long side with stops. I don't know what lies below here. I don't really know their business. I think they're testing for semiconductor. So that industry changes pretty quickly. So Mr. Semi, are you here? Maybe you can tell us. Find out exactly what's going on in their business. Technically, this is support, but if it loses this, 27.50, I would get out. So not to find out what's below, you know. That's a giant head and shoulders that says $12 is likely if we lose this, but it's not likely. It's feasible, but it's not likely. Okay, this one, is this the one? No, that's apps. So on a weekly basis, they're selling rallies inside this little segment right there. So you have to respect that behavior, and they're at the upper end of the rally. So let's go in closer in time to see how we can deal with this. So that's that channel I just drew. So you can see there are sellers at 44 and sellers at 46.5-ish, and buyers into 36. So you're going to ping pong inside that zone until they decide they want to take this out. If so, then you challenge the upper end of that channel. Otherwise, I will assume they're going to drift lower, probably to 36. Try to take it there. Apps, I wouldn't touch it. Sales shrunk 25%. No. Between this and Amazon, I'll take Amazon any day. Between this and Affirm.
All right, folks, and I just wanted to show you a little bit of this session. Nick told me to not show it all because it does cover a lot, but I just wanted for you to see basically how it goes, the operations of it, the logistics, what you're reviewing. You know, you talk about peers, you talk about competitors, you talk about price levels, supply zones, support zones, technicals, indicators, sales, fundamentals, macro, micro, industry specific. There's a lot. There's definitely a lot that you will go over in these Sunday sessions. Again, that's like 1/5 of the video, and you have 2 more videos. So we're talking about, 2 hours or so plus that you'll be there. If you want to be live, you can be live. If you want to watch the recording, you can also watch the recording, right? So that's something you guys can do. It's definitely going to help you guys out. In the Inner Circle chat, as you can see, there's a lot of people in there. So you see Cinnamon Girl, Doc, everybody makes friends there all the time. If you didn't know, Doc is just a famous insurance guy. But basically, folks, this is where you're going to be the whole day if you want, here and in the live session with Nick. How do you get there? People ask me all the time. It's the same post. It's posted all the time, right? This is supposed to be like California time, but it's anywhere, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And this link right here where it says live session, this is going to take you to the live session. You download this free conference call, which is, I guess that's what you guys were referring to. It's not a free call, but it's the thing is called free conference call. So it's not a free conference call. That's just the name of the thing. That's like Zoom, right? That you use to log in to watch Nick the whole day. 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. live stream, trading, mentorship, education, options education. That was the confusion, Ryan, because I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Free conference call. Like, but I forgot that was the actual name of this thing. So you get the Sunday session, which is from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern. I mean, even if you're working Monday to Friday, you have time for that, right? Then Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Eastern, live with an instructor, with the principal, right? You're not with an assistant or nothing like that. You're with the main guy, Nick Chahine, answering questions, giving you feedback, opening that private conversation box. I told you guys how to do it. This is a separate feature, but you guys are getting it included basically here because you guys are in this awesome session on a Sunday. So you walked right into that, Ryan. Yep, no worries, it's all good. So in the Sunday session, folks, there's a lot of information there, but in the live room, there's a lot of camaraderie, right? There's a lot of education, interaction, not just with Nick, but with the other members. People help each other out. This is legitimately a workplace. This is where people make part-time, full-time, or even more than full-time income. So even if you have a full-time job, I can tell you myself, because I know different people in the live room and myself as a trader, it's not impossible for you to have a full-time job and make some of these trades. You're obviously not going to be able to do all of them, but that's really never the goal, right? You need to find what fits you, what fits your schedule, your risk profile. If you are not comfortable buying calls and puts because of the possibility of XYZ happening, then you shouldn't do it. And you should do different types of trades that you feel more comfortable doing, that you feel basically like are the types of trades that you would like to do long term, right? You don't have to try to cram all these trades into your life. You just shouldn't try to do that. That shouldn't be the goal, right? So as an example, if you're working full time and you cannot be day trading, then clearly the day trades in the live session wouldn't be trades that I would take if I was you, right? But if you have a full-time job, right, as an example, again, I would take the type of trades that are longer term setups, like the credit put spreads or the covered calls or the condors that Nick does. So those, you're going to find them here in the blue chat room. Okay. This is the legacy chat room. This is where it all started. Okay. This is like the original, the one and only options inner circle chat room. Mortessa coming in hot with all those questions. Is the Iron Condor trade at the live room? So that's going to be in the live session. That Iron Condor expires at the end of the day. So you could consider it a day trade, and you just don't have to be looking at the tick to tick. You're just basically expecting the price action to stay within within certain levels, right? So it could chop all day long. It doesn't matter really. Like you're still going to be collecting the premium, right? So now let's finish your question. It happens like around the first hour after the market opens there, and like a set time. So Mortessa, so those trades, the trades that happen in the live session are for people that are actively trading the day. So we highly encourage that if you do have the time, ability, tendency to do that, if that is what you're trying to do, the strategy and such, then you should totally be in the live session. But if you're working full time and you do not have, a chart in front of you and you don't have really your setup there, and you're really jammed at work and busy, then maybe you shouldn't be doing day trades, right? Because it's just, it's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. If you got a lot going on at work, then you shouldn't be day trading, because these things can, it's a different type of trade. So you can do the other trades that are more passive trades, if you will. Nick calls them boring trades, but these boring trades consistently yield 20 to 35%. And again, you're not looking for home runs. It's a risk reward world that we live in. So if you want to make a higher reward, you're going to have to risk more. And then, you either agree with that or you say, no, I don't want to risk that much. So then you're able to do different types of trades, and you're able to use these trades based on what you're doing that day. So the Iron Condor, the credit put spread, these are trades that Nick does with high probability of success. These are trades that are dedicated for people that maybe have a full-time job, or run a couple companies, or just simply want to put a trade and not have to be checking the charts on a daily. You can pop in at any time and talk to Nick and ask for an update on the trade at any point, right? So the 20 email trade alerts that you get per month, you can go into the live room with Nick and you can go in and ask him for an update on that stock. You're going to get 20 per month on top of what you're getting here in the live room, on top of what you get in the live session, the daily iron condor, the active buys and calls and puts that we do during the day. That happens every single day. We're trading volatility as well. Obviously, it's impossible for Nick to make every trade if he's helping all these people. But the types of trades that Nick prefers for himself are the conservative trades, are the trades that are going to yield you a solid, steady 20, 30%, which is not bad. Some hedge funds do 30, 40%, and people call them, oh, this is, the best in the world, right? That is considered a very good return on a yearly basis for hedge funds, 30% a year. Literally, if you 30%, you do 40, 50%, you're basically the best hedge fund manager in the world, like literally by the numbers. So the fact that you're doing 20, 30% on your entire account and portfolio, that's actually really good. So I don't know what kind of benchmarks you guys have. If you're benchmarking your success on screenshots that you see on Reddit or Wall Street Bets, or if you're setting your expectations on realistic expectations, on what's realistic, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. And you do get that type of consistency with the trades that Nick is doing in the live room. So again, if you have a full-time job, if you're trying to do slow and steady race, you can do that as well. If you're trying to trade actively throughout the whole day, you can do that as well. And you take the passive trades so that you can diversify your options portfolio. You do want to diversify so that you don't have all your money in one type of trading or one strategy, because that way you can win on both. But if you lose on one and you win on the other one, it helps you out as well, right? So some trades are more passive, others are more active. You shouldn't try to take all of them. You should really try to take the ones that really fit what you're trying to achieve. And if you don't know how to make a plan, that's one thing, right? But if you don't have experience and you're very new, how are you going to make a plan? How is a mechanic that has no training and no prior experience going to make a plan on how to fix a car if he doesn't even know what to look for to fix or how to fix it? So in this case, you need to get some sort of experience. But the one way that you can circumvent both of those things is to actually trade with a mentor, with an educator, with an instructor, with a partner like Nick. He is the Options Inner Circle chat room. You can private message him. You can talk with him the entire day about your strategies, about where you want to be. So if you think the chat room is going to benefit you short term, it also helps you long term because there's a lot of education. So in short, in summary, folks, I think you should try this chat room. I genuinely do. This is the best chat room in the world. I launched it with Nick when it was just me and him. Now we have hundreds and hundreds of people there that are improving their trading. They're becoming better traders. That is the goal of this. You're not buying a microwave. You're not buying, of a spare tire. Like, this is actually meant to make you income, for you to create income. It's and on top of that, the hand holding, right? It's not like, yeah, do this and see you later. We're literally taking the time to manually help each individual trader that is part of the live room. So if you're part of the live room, you're part of the family, right? So you can either do the annual, do the lifetime. Either way, you'll be there with Nick and the amazing community that we have. So I think we covered a lot of ground, folks. If you guys have questions, just make sure to send over an email. I know it's Sunday. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday. But again, remember, it's going to be a very, very interesting week that we're going to have, right? Next, what happens? We have a short week coming up. I don't know exactly the day. Let me see if I can pull this up here. I don't know the exact day, but I think there's a short week coming. And I don't know if it's this coming one or the next one. So this agenda, I use it a lot in the dashboard. It has some of the numbers that are coming out. So you can see some of these. We have some February 24th. We have some CPI numbers, PCE numbers, personal spending. I do want to look into this one and see what retail does. Personal income as well, core PCE price index, Michigan consumer expectations, new home sales. I don't know if people trade real estate here or if we have realtors. I've signed up tons of realtors actually to the live room, and It's interesting to hear their insight. I personally don't trade real estate, but they know their industry and they can kind of, they have a bit of a better understanding of what's really happening, right? Once you're in the game, in the know. And obviously everybody that's in different industries can use this. Everybody has an edge. It's just, how can you benefit from the edge, right? It's not having the edge. It's how do you use the edge, right? New home sales, budget balance. We'll see what that comes out to. Consumer confidence. So you do have a pretty good setting here of what's going to happen. I don't know the exact day, if it's a short week or the coming one or the next one. But I can tell you, whenever short weeks happen, there are certain things that tend to happen, not always. But again, if the volatility is going to be there, you want to make sure that you are able to not only adjust your trades, but make solid trades. So with that, I think we had a great session. I want to give a big shout out here to all the folks. Maretza, thanks for being here. Ryan, I'll see you in the chat room very soon. Okay. Make sure to send an email, folks, if you have questions on joining the live room. We're going to be there tomorrow morning. So big shout out to all you guys. We'll see you Monday morning in the live room. All right, folks, have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl and make sure to join the live room. This is going to expire at midnight. So put up an email, send a call, send a text if you have questions, and we'll see you there soon, guys, folks. See you later.